Shout out to Miami Sports Music.
Hey. The new anthem for the new era. Fins up.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
But throw it up. Throw your foe up in the sky. Throw it up. Let them know that we gon' ride. Where you from? We be reppin' worldwide.
BWA, stay loyal till we die.
What is the come up? We been down for a minute. This the come up. We been reppin' that consistent. This the come up. Now the world gotta feel it. Reppin' so loud, whole world gotta hear it. New era. Dolphins on the cliz out. Tick, tick, tiz out. Till we reach the tiz out. This a never stiz out. Reppin' till we drizz out. So low D, I be rapping with this hip hop. Throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
Throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix. Ain't no more relying on fits. It's time for Tua to get us lit. That's why we got Waddle at 6 and Jalen Phillips is a brick at 36. We got Jabbar Hollins, Madden hit stick. Eichenberg protecting hips. 2 whole years and he ain't slipped. Run along, he got that gritter, triple threat, he so legit. Garner Coleman, Jared Dokes, the 7th round was such a gift. That's why we toast, that's why we sip, that's why we reppin' MSM. Miami sports music, don't confuse it, don't abuse it. Unless you want a new contusion, real talk, ain't no illusion. Solo D started a movement, MSM the institution. TD Fins the contribution, yeah, we started a new unit.
Throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
Throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit, throw them fins up, throw them fins up, hit.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
MIAMIDOLPHINs. When do I begin? I've been rapping since a kid. If you rapping, then we can.
BWA, if you rapping, then we can.
Welcome to Percival. We asking what would Shula do? He would take the narrative and spin it like a hula hoop. He say let it Coach Flow. Coach Flow gon' do his thing and he gon' bring it to it in and to it. Come and change the game. Watch the squad ball out. Got the fans all excited. Coolers out. Grills on. Got the tailgate ignited. It's the Aqua Society. They know we stay united. DWA. We be down and start a riot. Throw them fins up. Throw them fins up. Hit. Throw them fins up.
It's the new era and we back up in the mix.
Who that?
So low, deep.
Trying to tell. But that's how we put it down. We put it down every time. When it's time to show up for the fans, we out here. You dig?
They know it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, wait a minute. Let's go. DWA, man.
Hard times, can't stop me cause I'm all grind, can't block me cause I'm gon' shine, do the greatest shit of all time, I'm feeling like I'm shooting, play perfect like I'm shooting, working like I'm shooting, undefeated like I'm shooting. Play perfect like I'm strategize. Stay corporate with a savage side. It ain't about winning, it can't have my time. I got no time, I only focus on the bottom line. I gotta grind, strategize. Stay corporate with a savage side. It ain't about winning, it can't have my time. I got no time, I only focus on the bottom line. I gotta grind like Shula. Playing for perfection, profession like Shula. Running with the winners, no losers. We are not the same, don't confuse us. We are not the same, don't confuse us. Playing for perfection like Shula. Running with the winners, no losers. We are not the same, don't confuse us. Don't confuse us. Hard times, can't stop me cause I'm all grind. Can't block me cause I'm gon' shine, do the greatest shit of all time. I'm feeling like I'm Shula. Play perfect like I'm Shula. Put working like I'm Shula. Undefeated like I'm Shula. Play perfect like I'm Shula. Hard times, can't stop me cause I'm all grind. Can't block me cause I'm gon' shine, do the greatest shit of all time. I'm feeling like I'm Shula. Play perfect like I'm Shula. Put working like I'm Shula. Undefeated like I'm Shula. Play perfect like I'm Shula. Who that?
So low. So low, deep.
Rest in peace, Don Shula. Still perfect.
Hey, what's up? Y'all know who it is, man. It's the Dolphins D. We already in here. Ready to turn up this year. We gon' get it.
Welcome to Hard Rock Stadium.
We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad. I got the whole squad with me now. Train to go. Come play games if you want to. Try to crash eyes, you done took the wrong route. We gon' crash you like a stunt dude. Check y'all like 1, 2. Tap your head like your uncle. You wanna ride, stay buckle. It get loud down here, get wild down here. Turn to feel the jungle. Never disrespect the squad that's defended by a line. And some beasts on the feast on opposition. Another line in the back, singing to the ER. Just in case you got through the first line with tripping. But if for some reason it get crazy, I got watchers on the corner for my safety. Everybody here well coached. Change the weather under pressure, stay cool like an AC. Woo! But we still make heat. Woo! Was you trying to play me? We be 3+ AD, but I'm a fool so low. Can't nothing break me. Be great, only way to do great things. Hit hard, only way to make a statement. Come up in our territory, make a payment. Or be in debt with your neck, gotta play. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad.
I hit them boys. We throw them toys. Y'all saying that QB. We them boys. We the realest. We go gorillas. We out here, homie. You gon' feel us. Don't make me come down. In that box. Like I'm red. I'll knock your socks. Won't play y'all boys. Cause we some bullies. We'll take your cookies. Cause y'all some rookies. I'm in the building. Me and Shot Jones. We do lane. We don't play zone. We play that man. So guard your hand. I see your eyes. You're scared,
we
man.
We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad.
guys. I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, The Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from Fins Up SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphin Club.
Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphin Club.
And you're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it, 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 run it.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people of Miami sports music world. What is up? It is your boy, Stephen D, and we are live on this beautiful Monday morning. Beautiful Monday morning. I'm super excited y'all are here. How are you? How was your weekend? Hope you all enjoyed it. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. I'm your host, Stephen D. Want to say good morning to my Fin-Laws and family. Super excited y'all are hanging out with me on this beautiful, beautiful Monday. I don't know where you are in the world or watching from right now. I know where I live at, which is right north of the Baltimore area. As I'm looking outside my window, there was snow last night, and now there's no snow, so I guess it all rained. I literally just looked at my window as I was on there. We had a lot of snow last night. But we are here, super excited, and I'm hanging out with y'all this morning. You know, I got some housekeeping stuff to get to before we get started into everything, and this morning's a big show because we got some major announcements that we're going to do live at 9:45 a.m. All right, hey, subscribe, hit that like button if you haven't done so already. When you get on, you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share. Let people know that we're here. Go on Facebook right now. Go on Facebook and Twitter right now and let people know, hey, look, there's this guy. His name's Steven. He's not that good looking, but he's an awesome guy. And I'm telling you, you'll like his morning show. It's the #1 Miami fan morning show. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure you hit that like button on the way in. There's, 64 of y'all watching so far this morning? Only 30 likes? That means half of y'all are just sitting there looking at my ugly mug. Come on, hit the like button. Hey, also, if you want to sign up, become a member today, I ain't going to be mad at you. There's plenty of seats for everybody at the table. In the description below, if you click on it, you'll see a link to sign up, to join, to become a member of the channel. Would love for you to become a member of the channel. There's wonderful, beautiful people here, and y'all would become part of the family. Family. That's my Vin Diesel voice for those of you who don't know. Family. So sign up today, become a member. Would love to see you all at the table. Hey, also, if you want to donate to the channel and help the channel grow, shout out to Cameron954 and shout out to Shake Money. Shake Money donating $5 this morning, says, happy MLK Day. Great man. Great day. I appreciate that. And Cameron said, hashtag swear jar. Cameron owed to the swear jar. So Cameron paid $20 to the swear jar. He also, I guess, gets a little bit of credit now, too. Shout out to Cameron from East 32. I'm rocking your hat today, big guy. I'm rocking your hat, the East 32 hat. So, yeah, if you want to donate just like those two guys did, the $sign down at the bottom of the chat is a great way to do it. You guys can also use, which I always love because just there's less fees, is the PayPal, which is MSM Podcast Network. You can use this QR code that's on the screen here, or you can use the Cash App and also use this MSM, which is also MSM Podcast Network, except with the $sign in front of it. You can use that QR code too. If you need the links, just click the description. The links to the PayPal and Cash App are right there too. Want to give a big shout out to Tail Greeter, our sponsor of the show. Tail Greeter is an amazing sponsor. Let me tell you what Nick and those guys do over there. If you guys want to party at the best party around pre-game, the Tail Greeter people are the way to do it. Why is that? Because they have tailgates all over the country. Go to tailgreeter.com today or download the app and follow Tail Greeter on social media at Tail Greeter. Okay? Make sure you guys go do that. It's an amazing people, and they do a lot of really, really cool stuff. So make sure you guys go check them out. All right? Also, if you guys want to follow me on social media, follow me at Stephen D. SKPL. What does SKPL stand for? Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. So make sure y'all do that today too. Got a lot going on today here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network on the #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. what do we have going on today? Well, it was a big weekend. Ooh, as I put my hand on the camera there. It was a big weekend in sports. NFL playoffs started over the weekend. So we're going to touch on a lot about that. We're going to do a big recap of each game. And we're also going to compare, how would the Dolphins have fared up against. And we're going to talk about the coaching candidates that were coaching this weekend. And was there anything that we liked that we didn't like? So we're going to correlate it all to the Miami. We're going to keep it Dolphins related. But we are going to have fun. What I usually do in the chat, you guys did a lot this morning, so I can't go in through everybody. But let me just throw on a couple people. Big Dougie B, good morning. Dolphin Don, Cruz Ruiz. Color commentaries in the building. Love color commentary. Dolphin Don, D1 Chosen. Estefan. Steven, are we going to do spoilers, bro? The Eternals and Peacemaker. Estefan, we can definitely talk some of that this morning because great movie, great show. 1, 2, 3, 4 Eps. Cameron 954 looking good. Hashtag East 32. Hashtag you are relay. You are late. Oh, leave me alone, Cameron. This is my show. I can show up when I want. Okay. Estefan, AB, Ice Cold 81. Jose Valdez, Jose, Anthony, best Miami Dolphins morning show, clock blockers. I appreciate that, Anthony. Who else we got up in here this morning? Von 954, family. Green Rat 100 is also in the building. Jamal Orange is in the building. Who else? Fanatical, Freddie, Level 2 Noob. Level 2 Noob is my guy. Shake Money, obviously, in here. TD on location. You are a member, so welcome to the channel. But I've never seen your name before, so I'm assuming you changed your name from something. TD on location. And is this a play on TD? Are you trolling TD? Need to know. Chris Delakis, the man with the best last name in the business. Who else I got up in here? We got a 305 Island Boy in here. Island Boy. Fanatical's in here. Ryan AP is in the building. Stetson O. Chase 1. NorCal Dog. The Godfather. The Godfather's in here, y'all. You come to me. You talk to me about. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding, and you ask, why? Why am I a Dolphins fan? Well, let me tell you here. Look, I can't do the whatchamacallit, the voice that well. But let me tell you, NorCal Dolphin is the godfather of all Fins fans. Shout out to the West Coast over there in Cali. My man. Who else we got up in here this morning? Estefan. All right, I can't. Flipside Fishing is in here too. I think that's all I'm going to go back. Let me get back in here. Shout out to everyone. Edward says, Alan M. What's up, Alan? I don't like the Christalakis last name stole the thunder of my first name. Andrevius Christalakis. We just found the perfect name. Andrevius Christalakis. What do y'all think of that? Andrevius Christalakis. If there was like Ultimate Fan and they had to have like the coolest name ever, it would be Andrevius Christalakis. I'm just saying. The coolest first name of anybody, the coolest last name. John said, ship it. Color commentary says, sounds like a soccer player. Nah, it's Toby D. Smooth. This is my other account. Okay, shout out to you, my guy. Let's see here. Shout out Pete for another wrong take. All right, look, man, let's kind of get into. I do want to make a semi-announcement. So this morning we are going to have a huge announcement. This morning at 9:45 a.m., we're going to have a major announcement about a new podcast on the show. Also, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys are here for that. I am looking forward to that. I think you guys are going to like it. I hope you guys like it. So we'll definitely have to go down and see. At 9:45, I'll have a special guest come on. and we will make the announcement together. Today, we're going to recap Monday. We're going to go through each of the games this weekend, and like I said, we're going to talk about how it correlates to the Dolphins. There was a lot of coaching candidates, especially the Bills game. I definitely want to talk about that Bills-Patriots game. And, Leslie Frazier, Brian Daboll. We're going to talk about the 49ers game yesterday. We're going to talk about how I was really, really long at that Cowboys game because I definitely thought that, I'll be honest with you, I thought that the Cowboys were going to win that game. And there's a reason I don't gamble anymore. There's a reason. D1's Chosen said Andrevius Christolakis sounds like a rugby player. That last name, definitely not the coolest, AB. AB said. AB, don't hate. Don't hate. Andrevius Shaw, no, that name. Estabumalakis. Estabumashakalakis. Okay, Estabumashakalakis. That's not bad, Estefan. Let's see here. Alexander, good morning. After Saturday's game, I have had a man crush with Brian DeBall, Alexander says. Alexander, let me tell you, that's a mirage. A mirage. We'll get into all that, but that's a mirage. Do not get sucked into the Brian Daboll stance, whatever it is. It's all a mirage. It's not real. We'll get into why. So let me get into that here in a little bit. So over the weekend, look, Saturday there was 2 games. Raiders and the Bengals, Patriots and the Bills. So let's kind of get into, I'm going to touch on everything. And we got about 15 minutes before my buddy comes on. And so I want to make sure that we get to talk about that. And him come on, we'll make the announcement. And then I'll open up the line to everybody. One of the things that I wanted to see this weekend was, number one, I just wanted to see good playoff football. So the first thing I want to talk about is expanding it to the extra team, having the 7th team in each league. Do you think that it made the competition better this past weekend? And I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that we need to maybe consider, putting the playoffs back down to 6 teams instead of 7th. Because let's be honest, that the 7-2 matchup was not a great matchup. And even with that being said, it wasn't like there were, I'll be honest with you, all the games yesterday's, especially until the end of the 49ers game. The end of the 49ers game was good, right? But I don't know if we need 7 teams. The 6th team, I'm okay. But the 7th, I don't think I'm cool with, because it just, there was ultimately 3 games this weekend out of 5 that were blowouts. 3 out of 5 games this weekend were blowouts. The Buffalo game was a blowout, right? The Buccaneers game and Eagles, in my opinion, wasn't that close. I know the score was 31-15, but I think that was, and the Chiefs-Steelers game last night wasn't a close one. So I don't think that we need 7 teams in each conference. Yeah, I think it needs to go back down to 6. Andrevia says the 7th seed is a waste. I'm interested to know what y'all think. We need 7 teams so the Dolphins have a chance to sneak in. From a football perspective, EM Baller, I don't know if I want to be the 7th seed. I don't know if I want to go in that way. We'll never get higher than 7th at this point. We're the team that needs it to get in. I get it. I understand. As Dolphin fans, yes. But as a football fan, which is a distant second to my needs, Dolphins fans are number one. There's no reason to have seven teams make the playoffs. There's none. I'm interested to know what your thoughts are. Put it in the chat. Alexander says if you get rid of the 7th seed, then get rid of the extra game. Yeah, look, here's the reality. The NFL, the only reason that they had the extra game, right? The only reason that they had the extra game was because it made more money. That was it. That was it. That's the only reason. And when you take that into account, you have to understand it's all about the money. It's all about the money, and that's why you have the extra game. Andravia says you don't want to be that 7th seed. You're just going to go and get embarrassed. And that's the other thing, too. I want to get into the playoffs, but I was there. That's the other thing, too. I was there 5 years ago in Pittsburgh when the Dolphins made it. And by the way, I saw that Buffalo game where it was -6 degrees, 7 degrees. Kickoff for that Pittsburgh game 5 years ago was -9 or -11 degrees at kickoff. So I know how cold it is to play, like to play in that game and how cold it was. That cold's no joke. It's a totally different factor. What I will say is it wasn't even a game then, right? And I agree with the same thing. Like the 7th seed is gonna. It's the equivalent to 16-1 in college basketball. A 16 seed is only beat a 1 seed one time, if I'm correct, once. And however 100 years of doing March Madness. So why would you have the 7th seed in football? And it's for money. Like, look, I watched every game start to finish the entire weekend because I had nothing else better to do except lay on my couch, get better, rest, and do that. That was it. But let me tell you, the games were boring, outright boring. So look, that's what I think about that. I think they should go back down to 6. My hope is that they'll consider it with it coming on, that they'll consider that. So we'll have to see about that. What else from this weekend? Let's go back to the games this weekend. So let's go into this Bengals-Raiders game. Bengals-Raiders game was the first game. It was the 4:00 game on Saturday. The game was 26-19. It was a lot closer than maybe I expected. Cincinnati scoring 2 touchdowns in the first half, no touchdowns in the second half. Look, Derek Carr, 310 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I don't understand. The game for me, the Raiders played better than I thought they would. There was something about them that made me think, if the Dolphins had got into play Cincinnati, what would that matchup have been like? What would that matchup have been like, Miami versus Cincinnati? Would we have played them better? Our defense is 10 times better. Let's get that straight. But, it's tough. Like Burrow's amazing. Burrow is absolutely amazing, and I have to call it what it is. I'm interested. I'm not interested. Let me rephrase what I'm about to say. I am not the person that likes to go back and say, well, if this would have happened, we could have been in this position. I don't like the Herbert to a comparison. I don't like the Burrow to a comparison. But what I will say that is very interesting from the standpoint of the Dolphins is we look at that and we say, if Tua was healthy, would he have been the number 1 overall pick in that draft? If Tua was healthy and didn't get hurt, would he have been the number 1 overall pick against Burrow in that draft? And you got to remember, at that time, Tua was the clear consensus before he got hurt to be the number 1 overall pick. Now, I don't think Cincinnati would have went with Tua. I think they would have kept Burrow. He was the Ohio kid. I think he would have stayed there. Or would have continued to go there. But I do think that another team would have maybe traded up into the top 3 or 4 to jump ahead of Miami and the Chargers to go get a Tua. and we probably would have had Herbert at that point. Because I don't think Miami was ever going to move from 5. And I think the only person they would have considered doing it for was Burrow. But Burrow is legit. Look, Cincinnati, here's another thing about that Cincinnati game. They won a playoff game for the first time in 31 years. I want you all to think about that for a second. Miami, by the way, there's only 2 teams now. I think it's Detroit. It was Cincinnati, Detroit, Miami for the longest time of winning a playoff game in the NFL. Miami, when Cincinnati won, went from 3 to 2. 21 years. Okay? 21 years. But it was cool to see the Cincinnati fans at the end of the game. I pictured Dolphin fans there. And my hope was that, we'll get to that spot one day. All right, I'm not going to bring this guy on for a while, but because he's driving, he's doing his thing. But I do love this guy. He's a part of the family. Let me bring him on for a little bit till I bring on my guest at 9:45 for the big special announcement. Dolphins fan, East 32 Dolphins tailgate. What's up, man?
Hey, good morning. What's going on, man? I'm trying to prop up my phone here while I'm driving.
Cameron.
I'll just hold it. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Did you watch football this weekend?
I watched a lot of football this weekend.
Well, let's start where I'm starting at, man. Let's start about that Vegas Raiders Cincinnati Bengals game. Anything stand out for you in that game?
I mean, that game pretty much came down exactly how we thought it was going to come down, right? Like the Raiders always, play it down to the last possession. David Carr is a really good quarterback. Their defense is suspect. The Bengals did a good job in the first half, as you said. But the Raiders were the Raiders. Like they did what they do. They always come back, and David Carr put them in a position to win on that last drive.
Why does David Carr turn it on in the fourth quarter? Because I feel like in the fourth quarter, he becomes this totally different quarterback.
Hey, man, who knows to figure that one out. But, I mean, he did it again.
Every time. Like, my wife and I were sitting watching the game, and she's like, I'm telling you right now, if it's within 2 possessions in the fourth quarter, David Carr has a chance. I'm like, exactly. What are you talking about?
And that was the excitement of the game because you knew the Raiders were not out of the game, right? When they were down going into halftime. And, David Carr does David Carr things. And, if it weren't for Jackson dropping that pass, we'd talk about the Bengals still being the losingest team in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. They were definitely choking at the end. 100%. So the interim head coach there, Rich Bisieka, I don't think I'm saying his last name right, but you know what I'm talking about, the Vegas Raiders interim head coach. What did you think about him down the stretch, what he did with this team? What did you think about, him as a coach?
Listen, I think they would have been – he was 7-5, in the 12 games he was the head coach. And I can't see Gruden doing any worse or better. Like, right? Like, they are who they are. Like, the record says they are. That's what we say that about everybody. He did a good job. The team didn't fall apart. Like, Gruden.
I predicted them to fall apart. I said the moment that the Gruden thing happened, and then when the Henry Ruggs thing happened, it was like, man, this team's going to fall apart to pieces. And they still made the playoffs. They still won games they needed to win at the end of the year. And I think this says a lot about your head coach, right?
100%. 100%. Now he's 63. Not that age is much of a factor nowadays, but let's see if he gets a chance to come back. But that's an interesting one to me because he's a longtime Raiders guy. He's been a coach in the league before, and he got his chance to be the head coach for 12 games, and he did a good job for all intents and purposes, right? Like he guided that team to the playoffs. So how do you not give that guy a chance?
My kids are bringing me tea. Shout out to my kids. Okay, look, I think that he deserves a shot. I don't know if Vegas is going to go with him, but he is an interesting person again, he's a special teams coordinator, right? Remember my theory about special teams coordinator. I'm just saying. There's something to be said about it. Y'all don't want to listen.
You just put Darren Rizzi right up there at the top of the coaching prospect list.
He was not ever in my top 5, but you know how I
feel. He's in yours now.
No, he's not. No, he's not. All right, man. Let's go. Let's go to the Saturday night game. Saturday night game comes, and let me tell you, man. I was on Twitter the entire night. And if you look, 47-14, Buffalo just beat the brakes off of the Patriots. Like it was never close. It wasn't even a game. Buffalo scored 7 touchdowns on their first 7 possessions. And by the way, there was only 8 possessions that they have. And on the 8th, they took knees to win the game. So every possession they had, they scored a touchdown on. I was so impressed. Is it wrong to say that I was happy, that I was excited, that I was having fun watching that entire game?
Dude, there isn't a fan in South Florida who wasn't happy. There wasn't anybody on the East Coast outside of New England that wasn't happy. And you know what the best part of that game was? Is when Belichick tried to scold, the head coach for the Buffalo Bills for running up the score. You know what? F Belichick. I'm glad
he does the same thing. He's done it for years.
Exactly. He got some of his own medicine. How's it taste, Belichick?
Yep.
Eat it.
And I love that McDermott was like, I'm not taking my foot off the gas. Are you kidding
me? No,
and
McDermott's like, what are you talking about? Like, this is football. It's playoffs, It's the same reason Brady was in there at 30,
let me tell you.
30 to 15 game with 3 minutes left, still throwing passes.
It was personal, though. Don't get me wrong. It was personal for McDermott. It was personal. He did, but I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly okay with it.
I'm glad it was, man. I mean, everyone wants to see the villain get beat down.
So, looking at that game, I would say personally, Buffalo's number, they have the best shot to go all the way in the AFC. There's nobody that makes me feel.
So let's not put the horse before the cart here. Cart before the horse, whatever this phrase is. New England was on the same level as Philadelphia and whoever else got blown out yesterday. They probably shouldn't have been in the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
they were a bottom tier playoff team, and it showed. They made Mac Jones look like just another guy. And
I'm so glad you said Mac Jones. Let me just interrupt and say that was one of the things that was bothering me on Saturday night. Is the crew, I guess CBS had that game, right? The CBS crew. I don't understand. Tua goes out and does that. He's considered the worst quarterback in the world. The entire game, even at the end of the fourth quarter, they were talking about, oh, this kid is great. He's amazing. He's done, he's going to be an awesome kid for this league. This is a great learning experience for him. They could not say anything negative about the kid, and he didn't have a good game.
No, he was putrid. And you know what? Buffalo put the pressure on him. They played, cover 2, cover 3. And you know what? To be honest with you, New England just doesn't have the horses on the outside, right?
Yeah,
they got away from the run game because they got down. If you remember, when they beat Buffalo in Buffalo, when it was 6 degrees below zero on Monday Night Football, he threw 3 passes. So, number one, that tells you what Belichick thinks about Mac Jones' ability to lead his team to a win against a superior defense, especially in the secondary. And secondly, Buffalo knew that same thing, and they just played to their strengths and knew how to shut down Mac Jones. And for some stupid reason, the New England stopped running the ball. It made no sense. And I was happy to see it. Screw them.
So Dolphins Twitter was fun to watch Saturday night. Number one, because it was just a straight out party. But number two, and it's funny because Alexander Diaz, who somebody in the chat box here watches the show all the time. Shout out to Alexander. Hit the nail on the head. The infatuation with Brian Daboll increased with the fan base. I still, for the record, want nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him.
I agree.
But hey, look, 7 possessions, 7 touchdowns. My personal opinion of the whole thing on Saturday night is my infatuation with Leslie Frazier went up. Now, here's something else a lot of people didn't know, and maybe some of you did. Chris Greer and Stephen Ross were at the game on Saturday night because they were going to interview Daboll and Frazier the next day in Buffalo. So, just what are your thoughts about Brian Daboll and then Leslie Frazier?
Listen, we're a fan-run channel, right? Like we get infatuated with one game and making an opinion, hypothesis and without looking at the whole book of work, right? Like I'm with you. Brian Daboll sucked as an OC when he was here. He was no good for Tannehill. He was no good for the offense when he had an excellent offensive line. He went to Cleveland and showed that he was. It was too soon for him to be a head coach. Now, that's not to say that someone can't improve, learn from their mistakes. Maybe he has. Maybe he'll have a great interview with Ross and Greer and change their minds or prove to them that now is the time for him to be the head coach. But as a casual fan, which we are, don't get it mistaken, we're all casual fans here. I'd rather see somebody else than Daboll because he's already been here, right? Like he has that. He's already got a perception in the fans' minds. Like we have a perception of him, right? So he's already.
There's a preconceived notion. All right, Cam, real quick. It's 9:45. I just want to make this big announcement. So I would love for you to stay on if you can or come back because I want to finish having this conversation with you about the coaching in Buffalo.
How about if I come back at 10 o'clock?
I'll see you back at 10 o'clock. That sounds
good. All right.
All right. So for those of you who don't know, I started this channel 6 months ago. And 6 months ago, I did it with the intention of creating a lot of content. I wanted the content to become one of the keys. My goal, one of the reasons I did is because, A, this is what I wanted to do. I love doing this morning show each and every morning. I love being able to talk Dolphins football. And it's always been very important to me to do that. But I want to take this thing to the next level. And I've had a lot of influences in this business. Big O, Alex Dano, Joe Rose, Channing Crowder, just a lot of people within this business in South Florida that I wanted to do it. And what I want to be able to do is take it to the next level. And I've wanted to work with this person for a very long time. A couple of years actually. And we finally he comes on my show, I come on his show, and the chemistry is just great. And so what we decided to do is, and I'll bring him on, we're going to make a major announcement here. On Monday mornings, starting next week, Mondays only. It's only going to be on Monday mornings for now. We're going to work together. We're going to have our own show together on Monday mornings. So without further ado, I want to make this big announcement with my man, and I'll let him make the announcement, and then I'll show the graphic on the screen. Mr. Alex Dano. What's up, Alex?
Yo!
What's up, man?
Hey! I am excited,
what's going on?
my friend. So next Monday morning, we are starting, what are we going with? The Double D show?
Dano and Daniels.
Dano and Daniels. Double
with
D.
Alex Dano and Steven Daniels live on Mondays at 9:30.
That's going to be so much fun.
It is, man. I'm super excited about it. I'm super stoked about it. It's not going to be a specific Miami channel or Miami show, although we will touch a lot about Miami sports. But we're going to talk pop culture. We're going to talk movies. We're going to talk music. We're going to talk pineapple on pizza.
Oh.
We're going to talk.
I'm having second thoughts now. If you're going to bring pineapple on pizza,
dude, I have wanted to work with you for a few years. And shout outs to Big O because a few months back, you were over on his platform. I was over on his platform, and we had the opportunity to kind of really work together for the first time. And I just always felt there was just this calmness between us in this relationship, and it just worked well. And every time I go on your channel, I have the funnest time. And every time you're on my channel, I have the funnest time. And I wanted to make that happen, man. We reached out, we made it work, and now Mondays we're gonna have the show. It's gonna be downloadable. You're gonna help me get it uploaded to Apple Podcast and all that stuff. And
they're not going to be able to avoid it. I mean, everywhere people turn, it's going to be on every podcast platform. It's going to be on every video platform. It's going to be on every billboard. It's going to be eventually it'll be every channel on your TV. People will not be able to avoid Dono and Daniels.
Dono and Daniels is going to be amazing, man. I just want to say thank you, man, for this opportunity. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Right back at you, man. And listen, I always have a lot of fun when I'm on your platform and when you're on mine. We have some fun conversations. We have some frustrating conversations with everything going on with the Miami Dolphins right now. And then, I have to spend my entire weekend and again tonight watching a bunch of teams who aren't the Dolphins playing in playoff games. And it's a little bit painful, but I love football, so we get through it.
So starting next Monday at 9:30, Mondays only, it will be the Dono and Daniels live with Alex Dono and Steven Daniels on Mondays at 9:30 podcast. You will be able to download it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just super excited about it, man. And
me too, man.
We're going to get it going and moving on.
Those are some beautiful graphics, by the way. Pull up. I love that. The one that's like a neon sign. I want to get like an actual one to put in my home office. Like I'm going to get that made for real.
Don't play with me. Don't play with me, Alex. Don't play with me.
I love it.
Don't play with my emotions. Because if you do that, it'll be like the coolest thing ever.
It would be, right?
It was funny. Actually, Solo D sent me a text. He got a neon sign that says Solo D in his studio over the weekend.
Yeah, I see a lot of people that have those. I think there's websites where you can get them customized. You can get them made to look like whatever you want. So I'm going to check it out. If I do that, maybe I'll get two and I'll send one to you.
Frank Mendez says, double D sounds good.
Yeah,
Chris Delacca says, giving you the D's Monday. I like it.
Good.
It. NorCal says, Dono, I want the pineapple and a fatty. Of course you do. Of course you do, Godfather. 1234 says, I like this dude. This guy, this will be good. I am super excited. It sounds like people are excited. Like people are excited. Hey, real quick, because I know you can't stay. You got the kid today. You're doing daddy daycare today.
Yeah, they had to. Listen, and it's a very important day. Obviously, Martin Luther
MLK
King
Day.
This is
I didn't even
really,
get into
really
it. That's
day.
sad on me.
Yeah, so awesome. Like shout out to everybody today. But included in this very important holiday is my kid's daycare is closed today, so I'm on daddy duty for most.
My kids literally just brought me hot tea because they're like, yeah, they're not at school today. So
no, sir.
No, sir, not at all. Hey, real quick, just interested to know your 2-second thoughts about the Buffalo New England game.
I'm really not surprised because New England has had a rough time the last month or so, and dude, can we finally get a better looking?
Eric Carrier's not wrong.
I don't know. I don't feel like the lighting here inside my parked car is that flattering. So
you're an upgrade from me, though. You're by far an upgrade from me.
I don't know about that, sir. I don't know. I think, but anyways, Josh Allen is such a stud. I mean, he is a stud of all studs, and I know that one of the head coaching candidates for us is his current offensive coordinator. I don't know if he can turn Tua into that, but if he can,
I want nothing to do with Brian Daboll, man. I've already told you. Like,
I don't either. He's.
But Leslie Frazier intrigues me. Leslie Frazier intrigues the hell out of me, man.
Why exactly? Because he was
he's
relatively
been a head coach.
Low on my list.
He's been a head coach in the NFL before.
Yeah.
We've seen what he's done. Look, man, this is a good team, and he would, I personally think, be able to put together a coaching staff in South Florida that would. Again, my number one requirement for whoever our next head coach is had to have been a head coach in the NFL somewhere before.
And that same reason is why I kind of like Dan Quinn. I mean, I don't love it, but I like it. you know, I know people hold against him, you know, coughing up the 25-point lead in a Super Bowl, but he's still got a team there.
He was 30 minutes away from a Super Bowl and blew it. But
yeah, he's got the head coaching experience, and he had incredible staffs working under him in Atlanta. So he wouldn't be my top choice. You know, all my top choices are people they don't want to interview. Like I like Doug Peterson. I like Jim Caldwell. They don't want to talk to people that
God forbid they do the right thing here, Alex.
Yeah,
God forbid.
God forbid they actually interview the people I think would do the best here. But out of the people that they are interviewing,
Alex, you're breaking up, Alex.
Probably my favorite. And you made good points about Leslie Frazier, the staff. My bad.
I agree.
Am I back?
You're back, but you're still breaking up. But hey, man, look, Monday mornings with you starting next Monday. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. I'm excited about it.
And I'm not usually going to be doing the shows in my car, just so people know. So the reception will be better.
I hope so. I hope you have good internet where you're at. Otherwise, this is going to be a tough show to put together every Monday. Alex NorCal says Alex looking a little bit like Chuck Norris. Yeah, I think you've had that before. People told you look like Chuck Norris.
No, I haven't. I think it's like right now I'm in the stage where my beard is like exactly at Chuck Norris level. Because about a month ago I shaved it off completely, and I've been letting it grow back in, and I think I'm at the perfect Chuck Norris level. One thing that people were telling me recently, and again, like different lighting, different angle, I was doing a show late last week, and somebody in my chat told me that I looked like Donnie Wahlberg, not Marky Mark, but the slightly less good-looking older brother. And in that angle, I thought, you know what, I did kind of look like Donnie Wahlberg.
I think getting compared to any Wahlberg, I've never been compared to a Wahlberg. I've been compared to Farva from Super Troopers and the King of Queens, and yeah, that's about as far as my comparison goes. Kevin awesome. James and the guy from Super Troopers. That's it.
Kevin, hey, listen, you could do worse than Kevin James. I mean, I think
I'd like to have Kevin James money. I ain't mad at that.
Exactly.
Alex, get out of here, man. Go enjoy your day. We'll do this for the first time on Monday. We'll have a really good time. It'll be we're going to talk about everything, man. Movies, sports, everything. Pineapple on pizza, which I'm going to convert you, man. I'm going to
be ready for my hot Marvel takes, by the way.
Dude, first of all, Externals this weekend on Disney Plus was amazing.
That was one of the worst Marvel movies.
What?
Oh,
we already got something to talk about on Monday because it was amazing.
2.5 hours of my life I'll never see.
No
again.
way. It was so good, Alex. I can't believe you didn't like it. And Peacemaker on DC on Peacemaker on HBO Max was excellent.
Is that good? I haven't watched that yet, so I don't know. I'll check that out.
It's raw, it's raunchy, it's funny, it's so John Cena. It was awesome. It was awesome.
I probably like that. I'm going to start that this week.
All right. Pineapple on pizza and Eternals was good. That's my hot takes for the day. Get out of here. All right. That was Alex Dano. So starting on Mondays, y'all, it's gonna be awesome, man. Dano and Daniels live on Mondays on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. If you're excited about it, hit the like button. Definitely want to see y'all there hitting that like button. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So on Mondays, Double D's are coming at you. I hope you all enjoy it. Hit the like button. Put it in the chat if y'all are excited about it. I hope you all are excited. I'm super excited about it. So let me bring on the person who I was talking to before all this, before we got rudely interrupted on this awesome major announcement. My man, Cameron. What's up, Cameron?
Hey, what's going on?
What do you think, man?
Dude, I love it, man. It's great, fresh new content, man. I love the graphics. I love what you're doing with the show.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up, man. What is up, people in their cars today and driving?
New content and Dano's, to get back in front of my computer.
All right. Well, then you get back to me when you get in front of your computer. Are you almost in front of your computer?
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
All right, I'll see you in 5 minutes. All right. Frank says, what about pineapple on tacos? Yes, that's good too. I love pineapple. I love pineapple on almost anything. NorCal says, listen, everyone, roll one up your personal pizza price and order that pepperoni, pineapple, and bacon pizza. You're welcome. I like it. I like it. Dono nailed it. Eternals was garbage. No, it wasn't, bro. No way. No, it was not. Chris Delaka said, pineapple on pizza. Unsubscribe, everyone. I love it. Level 2 Noob says, Steven gives me more of a Dale from Dale and Tucker versus Evil more than Farva. Really? Really? I haven't gotten that one yet. Did he just say King of Queens? Kevin James' wife was so hot on that show. That's what you got out of that, Epps? Steven, you definitely give me Brad Pitt vibes. I appreciate it, 954. What a guy. I've never been compared to Brad Pitt, but you just made my morning, Von 954. You have no idea. Oh, man. New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. Spice Girls make me sick. I'm just playing. Let's see here. The man, the myth, the legend, Dono. Yeah, man, I've been sitting on that one for a while now. Steven, you look like Denzel. Hey, bro. My son's gonna bury me. I'm putting cases on all you. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. That's my Denzel impersonation, Andrevius. That's my Denzel impersonation. Spread kindness. Sounds like 954 needs to borrow some money with that comment. Eternal was worse than the Dolphins O-line. No way. Y'all are crazy. Alexander said, I told you the 49ers were going to be the conference champ. Yeah, you did, Alexander, but Dolphin Don says pineapple with bacon and jalapeno sounds tasty. That sounds like sounds like a butt guster. Steven, I had a 3-month sticker. No shout out. I'm very disappointed. Unacceptable. Shout out to 1, 2, 3, 4 apps. Okay. Shout out to 1, 2, 3, 4 apps, everybody. I don't need no smoke from apps. All right. Peter Griffin with a beard. Just kidding. Hey, Meg. Look here, Meg. Steven, aka the Notorious B.I.G. Oh, don't hate on B.I.G., bro. Let's see here. I just saw Shanghai. Eternals was good. I will watch it again. It was that good. All right. Back to the conversation because we're going to get my man back in here. Look, basically, it was awesome. It was awesome to watch this game over the weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed it. 47-17. There were things that were bothering me about the game. I did not like that Mac Jones was getting all the love from the people calling the game. Josh Allen, 5 touchdowns. I mean, they just look so methodic. They were very methodic in what they did. Isaiah McKenzie, 3 rushing yard, 29. But Devin Singletary, 16 carries for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dawson Knox, 5 receptions for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gabriel Davis getting in on with a touchdown. Emmanuel Sanders. Tommy Doyle, offensive lineman, getting in. Ivan says, I was at the game. You were at the game, Ivan? Were you at the Bills-Patriots game? Just like last night, the Chiefs threw Big Ben such a retirement party. Yeah, most def. Most def about that. Look, I enjoyed it. My personal opinion was watching Dolphins Twitter, though, is all of a sudden Brian Daboll became this, like, people wanted Brian Daboll. I'm telling y'all right now, Brian Daboll is not the guy. He's not the guy. Do I think the Dolphins are going to pick him? I think he's high up on their list. They flew to Buffalo. They flew to that negative game. Crystalakis says, Steven, how much of a super chat to take off your shirt? What? I'm not going to strip for money, Crystalakis. I'll never do such a thing. But if I were to, it'd be like $250, $300. I mean, I'm just saying, and it would have to be in PayPal or Cash App. I don't think my wife would get too mad at me. I don't even know where that came from, Crystalakis. Let's see here. 47-14. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah, I think it was a great show. And Belichick looked pissed the entire night. It was awesome. It was awesome. All right. So I do want to get back into that a little bit more, but let's go into the wild card round yesterday. Sunday game, the very first game was Philadelphia Eagles versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I said Tampa was going to be Philly. I did think Philly had an opportunity. I'm not sold on Tampa. Let's just get something straight. They beat a bad Eagles team. But Tampa Bay is not all that. Okay? They scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter and 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. If they play any, I'm telling you, they're losing in the next round, whoever they're playing against. I'm calling that right now. I don't think they're a great football team. They're beatable. There's nothing about them that really makes me whatever. It's funny. People want to say about the Eric Bieniemy, right? That Andy Reid calls the plays, right? But I always find it funny that people want Byron Leftwich. Jacksonville wants Byron Leftwich. Jacksonville fan base, by the way, not Jacksonville, but Byron Leftwich, right? Byron Leftwich has Tom Brady. So why doesn't he get that same benefit of the doubt? Another, what did he, level 2 noob, another Bama quarterback pooping the bed. Yeah, man, Jalen Hurts, 258 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Again, just didn't look good. Mac Jones and Jalen Hurts both looked bad over the weekend. I personally think that the Tampa Bay game, again, they just, Philly, it wasn't even a great game. It wasn't. So I don't even want to talk too much more about that. So let's go to the next game. Let's go to the 49ers and Cowboys. This game was surprising to me. Why was it surprising? Because every year I think that the Cowboys are going to do it. They're going to win the playoff game. They're going to change the course of their own history. And it is the same Cowboys team that shows up year after year after year in the playoffs since Jimmy Johnson. They get into the playoffs. They get into the playoff game and just basically, what the bed. They can't win. Now, San Francisco was very close from being on the hook of one of the biggest chokes of all time at the end. I really think that that's going to be, y'all need to look out for that 100%, because and another person that got a lot of big on the Dolphins Twitter and Dolphins radar this weekend, McDaniel. McDaniel already was somebody that was being, big as far as a name for the Dolphins fans. But after this game this weekend, it's very interesting. And look, the play at the end of the game, I'll be perfectly honest. I see, number one, I never would run it there in that situation. But for those of you who want Kellen Moore, I hope that from what I've heard, that was a Kellen Moore thing. That wasn't Dak. That was Kellen Moore. And so I want, in no way, shape, or form, want Kellen Moore. I think the kid's good, but I don't want a first-time head coach, and I don't know if he could put a team together. Mike McCarthy, I'll say this. I'll do you one better. McCarthy and Tomlin. Tomlin in no way, shape, or form should be fired. But there are rumors coming out of Pittsburgh saying that the ownership is not happy with Tomlin. And that now that they're going to get rid of Big Ben, that they might just hit the reset button on it all. Because they've never done a real reset in Pittsburgh. If they were to get rid of Tomlin for any situation, Tomlin automatically goes to the top of my list. Let's just throw that out there. Tomlin would automatically become my number one person I'd want. McCarthy, who I also believe is and is probably going to get fired because Jerry Jones is pissed. Jerry Jones was in his press conference and just that man wants nothing to do with nothing. And he's emotional, right? He's the type person that will, like, this is going to fester with him. He wasn't happy the whole year with him. And I don't know if I'd want McCarthy. But again, he would fit the profile. He's somebody who's been a head coach before. He's had success. He's failed. I think he would put a decent coaching staff together. I wouldn't mind Kellen Moore being our offensive coordinator. I think he'd be better than what we had the last couple of years. But I have to tell you, I really think that McCarthy's going to get fired today or tomorrow. Maybe I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow, but I think McCarthy isn't the head coach in Dallas next year. And there's rumors only, and they're only coming out of Pittsburgh. They ain't coming out of nowhere else. That Tomlin could be on his way out the door in Pittsburgh. If Tomlin becomes available, bro, I am sending a private jet. What do you want? The floor is yours. You can have whatever you want. I would want Tomlin in a minute. The man has never had a losing season as a head coach. He's had a couple of 500, but he's never had a losing. And he consistently puts together top-tier coaching staffs. I would love Mike Tomlin. Y'all can say what y'all want about the man, but I would love Tomlin. McCarthy, I don't want. And I don't want McDaniel from San Francisco. All right, back to the program, my man Cameron. What's up, Cameron?
What's up, brother?
Welcome back. Now you're out of the truck. Now you can talk.
Yeah, to get my gym time in, drop some stuff off at Goodwill, do my good deed for the day.
All right, real quick. You were saying something awesome about me and Dono, and then we couldn't hear you.
Oh, I just think it's great new content, man. It's the evolution of Miami sports marketing and the Clock Blocker Show. And Dono is tried and true. And I've seen you guys, how you guys play off each other, and it's going to be an entertaining show. And pineapple does not belong on pizza, but to each their own.
Don't get me started. You know how I feel about that. Dono and Daniels live on Mondays only at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Be on the lookout for that. It's going to be awesome, amazing. Real quick, go ahead.
Hats, T-shirts, done. Just send me that logo. I can get the light done too.
There's a lot of stuff we got to do. We'll talk this week.
We'll talk.
Just real quick, briefly to finish up about the Buffalo thing. Leslie Frazier, what did you think of him, and did he move up in your book at all as a coaching candidate?
No, I mean, like I said, it's he's been a head coach before as well. I think he's more geared towards Chicago, only because he's a Bear, grew up in that area as well.
Yep.
But his work, he speaks for itself. His secondary is probably one of the better in the league, and he's been at the top of his game for a defensive coordinator or secondary coach for quite a long time now. So I think he would make a better head coach in terms of leading a whole locker room, just because he's had better results than Daboll if you're comparing the two. But neither one of them are really high on my list. I would put Frazier over Daboll.
Well, I have to tell you something. One of the things that surprises me about everything, Cameron, is Stephen Ross and Chris Greer flew to Buffalo.
Well, they're supposed to.
No, they were there. They were already there. They were there for the game. They did, and they did the interviews yesterday, from what I know. Now, there was no announcement that they completed interviews, but I think you'll hear an announcement today that they've completed interviews.
Listen, and it's also two teams that they're division rivals. Like I would expect them to be at that game regardless, whether the head coach is vacant or not. I would expect them to be there.
Somebody who else was at that game, that Buffalo game, and I meant to talk about this, which I think is so freaking cool. He's somebody that I thought was really cool. Is this guy? Let me stop screen share. Share. Here we go. Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick was at the Buffalo game as a fan on Saturday night with his T-shirt off. Look at that chest hair, son. Look at that chest.
How cool is that? How cool is that?
He bought a regular ticket, sat with the fans for the game.
Good. That's awesome.
I love Fitzpatrick, man. I will always love Fitzpatrick. But him and Buffalo, he said it on multiple interviews that him and Buffalo Phil fans have a special relationship, have a big time special relationship. So I thought that was really cool, man. You gotta love Fitzpatrick, dude. Gotta love Fitzpatrick. All right, real quick, I got a surprise announcement for y'all. I've already kind of semi talked about this. It's not. I don't think it's new news, but it's new in the fact that we now have dates or times that this person will be on. So be on standby here, Cameron. I'm gonna bring on the man from the Fins Tailgate Show, El Capitan, Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's happening, guys?
What's going on,
Chris?
Now I made a big announcement this morning that Dono and I are doing shows on Monday. You and I have also been talking for a couple of weeks, and we have a big announcement starting on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Fins Tailgate Show, live every Wednesday night, starting at 10 p.m. on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. You are going to have a show here, man. Are you excited?
Bro, I'm super stoked. Me and my boys are ready to mix it up. We're a little bit of a mixed bag of nuts, and nuts in the craziest way you can possible, man. We're going to get crunk. We're going to get crazy. I don't know. You guys get at a tailgate party, and you know how it is, man. You're having a few beers. Kids running around, ain't got no shoes on, playing football. Everyone's talking smack, having a good time, all in good fun, man. Keep it as family friendly as we can, but it is a tailgate party, so it does get dicey.
It does get a little bit dicey. I agree.
It does.
So it's going to be raw. It's going to be uncut, and it's going to be specifically designed for Dolphins fans and just another viewpoint. I really like what you guys have done. One of the things that you guys have also done on your channel that you're going to be bringing over here is on Friday nights. We don't have a name for it quite yet. We're hoping to have one by hopefully maybe today or tomorrow. We'll have graphics for it hopefully by Wednesday. Is we're going to have a sports gambling podcast show on Friday nights at 10 p.m. that you will also be hosting and running and having your whole team rotate.
That's right. I don't mean to cut you off, but I got my brother-in-law, Brandon the Bookie, and then I got close family friends. I got the Wizard of Oz. I've got Big Kev. My guys are on the beat. Brandon the Bookie's in a different casino every other day, man. He's all over in the Midwest area. Mm-hmm. So like sometimes he might even be coming from us live from a casino because he's in there talking to his guys. He's out there, man. He's out there. They do inside. All three of my guys are on massive heaters right now, man. They are killing it. Brandon just said he went 4 for 1 on his bets on his teams and all his prop bets on him. He smashed it, bro. He murdered it. So, and guys, like I said, and I'll always say this when I talk about betting, if you guys do have problems and need help, we are the guys you want to come to. We will put you in contact with the right people. We have a motto that we live by. This is Happy Meal Money. It's meant to be for fun. It's meant to be fun. If it ties in and now you're, got something else going on, reach out to us, man. We're here we're here for help. This is what we do this because we love it, man.
One of the things, and I've spoke with Cameron about this multiple times. Cameron's been a big part of Miami Sports Music Podcast Network, and I've talked about doing, multiple gambling shows, and I'm never going to do them. Because of my ties to be, I haven't made a bet in 4.5 years, but I know it's part of what we're leaning towards as an industry, providing content, is you got to have that. And it's fun, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that I haven't seen the over-unders or what the point spreads are or prop bets. That stuff's fun to look at. But for me, I couldn't do it. But I knew that whoever I brought on to do a show, I would want them to have the mindset of, if you have a problem with gambling, that they also talk about that too.
That's right.
And Cameron,
That's right.
you know that that's been something that's been important to me. And Chris is somebody that, was already doing it on his platform, which was great.
Yeah. And just real quick, Cameron, we do it for fun. I love it because it's a great analytics tool as well. Because let's face it, guys, Vegas don't play to lose.
Dude, I was saying that this weekend. I was like,
Vegas isn't wrong, bro.
Vegas is not wrong, bro.
These guys, do you think my dudes got something to the ear? That's the real.
I thought Pittsburgh was going to backdoor last night. I 100% thought
no way,
that
bro. I took
quarter.
the over on points on that game. And because I felt in my heart that KC,
Kansas City did that all on their own, pretty much.
That's what I said. We said it on the show. We were like, listen, KC could maybe get that alone.
Yeah.
So we took that also. I know a lot of people were feeling Dallas. I haven't believed in Dallas.
Look at Cameron. Cameron shaking his head.
Fool's gold.
Dude, I said it on Friday, bro, and I took him in the over yesterday with a Matsuyama teaser, and I won that shit too.
Get him, boy, get him. So I took the points, or I took a money line, and I think they gave me plus 200 when I took them, because the money was coming in on the Cowboys. It moved to 5 points before game time on the site I used. So I took that money line and got plus 200.
And just for people to know, Friday nights at 10 p.m. will be a sports gambling show, and it won't just be football. As we get closer into college basketball, we're going to be touching college. You guys are going to be touching on college basketball. And then you're going to do a big show for the Super Bowl for sports prop bets. So we already the content is coming, people, on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. We got three new shows for you. Dono and Daniels, Monday mornings. We got the Fins Tailgate on Wednesday nights. We already have Hellfins on Tuesday nights. We also have the Fire and Ice podcast, Sports Combat Show. And then we also are going to have that on Friday nights. And I'm also in the works with one other entity. Chris knows who I'm talking about. We're not going to name it yet. That they're going to come on 2 nights a week too. And I'm hoping to make that announcement later on this week once everything's set in stone there. But we are going to have a live show for you on Miami Sports Music every morning, weekday, and every evening. Almost. We're missing 2 days at the moment. But yeah, man, almost day and night content on the channel here is going to be awesome, right, guys?
It's going to be fun, man. I can't wait to diversify. You know what I look forward to is bringing in guys like Cameron, who I don't know, and getting you to come by and us to, bounce the insanity.
Well, it's the Fins Tailgate Show. You got to have the number one tailgate guy to come on and hang out.
Yeah, I expect to see you swing by on the Fins Tailgate Show, Cameron.
Of course, man. I'm all
mix
about
it up with these. Yeah, we mix it up with these crazies around here, because that's what it is. It's crazy out there, guys. So,
all right. What are you working? Can you stay on, or do you got?
No, I'm actually getting ready to go to another appointment. I just had to jump in. I'm super excited. Man, I still got a day job, don't I?
I hear you, Chris. I hear you, brother. Thank you so much for coming on.
No
Wednesday
problem,
night, 10 p.m. the first show, and you'll come on the mornings here and there, and we'll hang out and we'll have some fun.
Steven, give it to him. Welcome to the family.
Welcome to the family. Family.
Nice.
Good stuff, Chris.
Bigger tables, not taller fences. Am I right?
That's
right.
I
like it. That's right, man. 100%, man. Bring
real quick,
people
guys.
together.
Anyone in the comments, if you guys got a good betting show name, put it in the comments. Steven might.
Yeah.
I like one, guys.
Friday Night Fantasy.
He showed me Friday Night Fantasy. I'm not in love with that yet.
Friday Night Fantasy.
I do like the Friday Night Fantasy, because FNF, there could be a really cool looking logo out of that. But fantasy is for fantasy. I think that could be a bit inside of it. We'll work that out and flesh it out, guys. If you guys have any suggestions,
any cool gambling show names, put them in the comment
get at
box
us
with
in
the
the comments,
hashtag.
man. We're willing to, and I'll tell you what, guys, Finn's Tailgate wise, if you guys find a name and Steven, one of your listeners finds one, win a free Dolphins hat. I got a Dolphins hat. I'll send somebody.
Oh,
so
man.
they can get at me, dog.
Look at this guy. Already
Look
doing
man.
big things. Already
Brother,
doing big things.
I'm a charitable person, man. It's about doing good things for good people and showing a good way. Ooh, I like that. Moneyline Fridays. I like that. I like that. I like that. Yeah, get at it.
We're not gonna pick it just yet. We're gonna let the names roll in.
But I'll tell you what, guys, free Dolphins hat for the winner, man. I got you. I'll take care of it on my end. It's already sitting in my office right now, ready to be mailed.
It's
I've already sent out stuff.
This is a network made by the fans for the fans, and we even let the fans choose names of shows.
That's exactly right, man. This is the family's big. Am I right, brother?
And only getting bigger. And only getting bigger.
That's right. Got little cousins and stuff running around. The illegitimate
Get paid
uncle.
Fridays. Get paid Fridays.
I like that. I like that. Payday Friday. So, all right, guys. I'll be
Chris.
listening. I'll be listening, brother. Take it easy.
No problem, man. Cameron, we're growing. We're growing, man.
That's the name of the game, man. Evolution.
Yeah, I knew that I wanted to do this during the season, but during the season it just gets so crazy. But now that the season's over for us, now it's the time to do it. We got a lot of great content. We're gonna have some really cool draft shows. Chris already talked about doing a whole hour-long show dedicated to the Super Bowl prop bets on that Friday, which is going to be, I think that'll be really cool. Like the over/under on the national anthem is, like the prop bets for the Super Bowl I always thought was cool. Even like it's just funny. Some of the prop bets that they have. Man. I know. All right, man, let's get back to the game. So where were we? We were talking about the 49ers-Cowboys game.
Yeah, 49ers-Cowboys, right? Like, so the Cowboys always find a way to lose, right? Like, Stephen A. Smith is not wrong. Like, what in the world were they thinking trying to run the ball? Like, they were at, the 52-yard line? Like, Dak had, 14 seconds left on the clock? That's enough time to run two plays into the end zone on a Hail Mary, right? Or another sideline shot. Like, so I was rather upset that the 49ers were allowing them to just take chunk plays with no time.
They gave them the field. They said, here's the field.
Like, and they were covering the sidelines. And so Dak runs up the middle. And that was just a boneheaded play. Like
if Dallas was able to make that, it would have been the biggest choke job. It would have been the second biggest choke job in NFL history, in my opinion, besides the Atlanta choking in the Super Bowl. Like,
listen, I it was ridiculous, and Dallas got what they deserved because that was just stupid. Like, I'm surprised McCarthy and what's his name, the offensive coordinator, aren't shit canned today.
I'm so glad Alexander brought this up. Let's talk about the referees. Let's just go back to the Cincinnati game and that touchdown call on the end zone on the inadvertent whistle.
Listen,
and Jerome Boger's not even, like, they kicked him out of the rest of the playoffs, the NFL.
Yeah, but he caught the ball and then the whistle blew.
The whistle blew while the ball was in the air.
He caught the ball, man. If you go over the replays, man, that ball was in it. Like, he had caught the ball.
So why did the NFL?
Because it was an inadvertent whistle. Like, he shouldn't have blown that whistle, regardless. Like, you had to award the play. Like, there was nothing that the Raiders were doing to prevent that ball getting into his hands, right? Like, it was a touchdown.
I just want to say the referees this weekend were garbage. Like, the Dallas game, like, look, I think the Dallas screwed themselves at the end. But let's be perfectly honest. There should have been 1 or 2 seconds left on that clock, bro.
No way.
The rule
is the rule. The umpire's got to set the ball.
Come on, bro. The referee should have been down the field ready to do that. He had to come in from the umpire should have.
No, you know what? Dak should have given the ball to the umpire instead of setting it down there himself.
Okay.
If he was thinking that far ahead of schedule, number one, he never should have ran the ball. So don't put it on the umpire for your dumb play calling.
Look, I think it was a bad play call. I'm not going to sit here and say that
Okay,
it
then
wasn't.
stop there. It's not on the umpire.
But do you not think the referees were bad this weekend, bro? The referees were garbage.
Honestly, I didn't really see, like, I didn't see anything so.
The games were blowouts, so it didn't matter. But I'm telling you, let that crap happen this weekend in the divisional round coming up.
Listen, there was nothing outside of that Cincinnati, inadvertent whistle that really screamed that the umpire screwed any team this weekend. Nothing.
The refs bumped into Dak at the end, Alexander said. I agree.
Who cares if he bumped into him? He was trying to get up to the front of the line.
I think Dallas has a legit case. I think they had a legit case.
Listen, they never should have been in that position in the first place.
They never should have ran the ball. I'll give you that.
All right. So why put it on the umpire?
Because two things. I've said this all year. You've watched my show. I've said it all year. The referees in the NFL are a problem. They're a problem. And part of what the league needs to institute is full-time referees, pay them more money, and also allow them to be on a grading docket that is public knowledge. That is public.
And I said this to you weeks ago. Like, speak to the union about that, because the union protects those guys. But
it's BS, man. We know how, I go back to baseball. Angel Hernandez, right? The Major League Baseball in court documents said you are bad at your job. That is why you don't get. But he cannot get fired because he's part of a union. That's the stupidest thing in the world. We're talking millions of dollars on a game. We're talking teams, going to the playoffs or not going to the playoffs because of a rule that was instituted, 60 years ago?
It is
Things
what it is.
need to change.
All right. That's why you negotiate contracts. That's why there's a lockout in baseball right now, right?
So here's the problem. And this isn't NFL or Major League Baseball's problem. If you say to the referees, this is what you have to do, and they say no, and you play a game of chicken, you then risk having replacement referees, which we've had before, and we saw how that worked out. That was bad. Which is why I think that the NFL, in order to tie it in, is you start a new process. What you do is you allow players, you start doing little small increment requirements. You have to come in at a certain time in the year, and you're required, referees, and I don't know this for a fact, but teams pay NFL referees in training camp to come in. It's not a requirement that referees have to go to training camp.
Yeah,
right?
But they pay them, and they're local guys. They're not NFL referees for the most part. So they're guys that referee the high school games or what have you locally, local college games. They're not NFL caliber referees. They pay teams, because they're doing live scrimmages, and you want the most authentic live scrimmage possible. So they bring in referees. It's not NFL referees per se.
I think that's part of the problem. I think that's part of is there a way to fix it, is my question, Cameron. Is there anything off the top of your head to fix the issue?
Well, not really. I mean, outside of automating, what was the game? I think it was a San Francisco game, right? So when they reposition the ball after review, that stuff should be done electronically like they do in tennis.
So have microchips inside the ball with things on the field, so you know exactly where the ball lands.
Well, there's not a microchip in the tennis ball. It's called Eagle Eye, right? So the whole field is quadrant out by laser, right? And then it's coordinated with the computer and the cameras. There's cameras all over the place. So that same thing can be done with NFL. That really bugs me, is how it's up to somebody's naked eye, a referee's naked eye, to determine whether it's a first down or a fourth down.
I think that's true. Why hasn't the NFL instituted that? What is the cons of them not instituting that already?
Well, I mean, you also like the argument is that you want the human element, right? It's a human element. It's just like
I'm telling you, sports bettors don't. Sports
Well,
bettors don't want that.
Listen, that the sports bettors. That's a loaded.
That's
question.
where the money's coming in, Cameron. That's where the money's coming
For
in.
who? For who?
For the league. You don't think the league is making money on the like FanDuel all of a sudden is the biggest things in draft?
Yeah, they're making money on the partnerships for sure.
100%.
For sure. But Vegas is making the money. Don't get me wrong.
I get that. All right. What did you think about McDaniel? What did you think about the 49ers play calling?
So it was fine. Like I think they should have used Deebo Samuel more.
Deebo Samuel's a beast, by the way.
He's a beast, right? Like, and I think Garoppolo played, with the exception of that really bad overthrow in the fourth quarter that gave Dallas the opportunity to score. Garoppolo played a really good game.
Is it too much for me to say that I think John Lynch is a bad GM? You go and you waste the number 3 overall pick on trade.
No, it's not a waste, man. Don't go. No. Same thing happened with Favre and Rodgers. You know, Rodgers sat for 4 years. You draft your future. That's what they did, man. They liked let's love, right? They liked him enough to draft him and spend, a top pick for him. And Garoppolo is doing what he's supposed to do, and that's excel in the position and keep him on the bench. I mean, for me, Lynch has done a really good job. Like San Francisco, to me, is the underdog Super Bowl candidate. Like Hot take. They could beat. So their only issue is they have to go to Green Bay, because I think
they're not beating Green Bay, bro.
They're superior. Well, any given Sunday, right? They have the opportunity. It's the only team left in the playoffs with a top 8 defense and a top 8 scoring offense. Like, they are a complete team. They control the ball. They really control the line of scrimmage on both offense and defense. So their offensive line is phenomenal and gives Garoppolo the time and Samuel the lanes. Like, they're so good. My problem with that game yesterday isn't so much, what happened with that last run play, even as stupid as it is, but Dallas kept taking stupid penalties. That
they had over 10. The penalties were so bad for them. Now, with that being said, that was a phantom defensive hold. I don't care what anybody says at the end of that game, bro.
I don't remember it. What was it?
It was a defensive holding to extend the drive.
On Lawrence?
Yes.
He tackled the guy.
Bro, come on. You don't make that play call there. You don't make that call there.
How can you not? He had no, it had no bearing on the play. So why is he grabbing him from behind and pulling him down?
Bro.
That was a bad play.
Cowboys had 14 penalties. Worst.
He is absolutely right. Like, in that fourth quarter, they had 2 or 3 penalties on third downs that extended the drive to San Francisco. That they would have had a lot more time on the clock. Like, Dallas shot themselves in the foot. It's not all on that last play. So anyway, back to McCarthy.
Does McCarthy keep his job?
I don't think so, and I think
he's gone. I think he's fired.
Well, it's hard to fire him because he's done a good job in Dallas.
Jerry Jones will not have any problem doing that. Let me tell you,
none at all. So let me ask you this: so if you're Stephen Ross, do you immediately, look at McCarthy as your guy? Because I said this to you last week. Because if McCarthy comes here, who else does? And I'm a Tua guy.
Deshaun? No, who? I don't know.
Dude, they get Rodgers down here.
Oh, with McCarthy?
Yeah.
Didn't that breakup end badly with them? Wasn't that part of the reason?
I don't know.
It's a theory. It's a good theory.
I'm throwing dry spaghetti against
I was
the
about
wall.
to say you're throwing stuff against the wall, hoping it's gonna stick, bro. Here's what I'll say. I think McCarthy's done. I think Jerry Jones is gonna pull the trigger on that because Jerry Jones, that's Jerry Jones's MO. 100%.
I agree, man. Like, you cannot allow that to happen. Say McCarthy's, his team. Is it more Dan Quinn because that defense is so exceptional?
Yeah, but I also think that makes Dan Quinn an automatic candidate to be the head coach of Dallas.
You could be right. And we definitely should make him a head coach candidate anywhere in the league.
And McCarthy would get a job very quickly, I think. Okay, so one of the other things that bothered me over the weekend, or just bothered me in general, is the NFL does not require you to disclose who calls the plays. So we look at that San Francisco game, and we don't exactly know who's calling plays for San Francisco. We know that McDaniel creates the plays, but we don't know who calls them. And I think that's half the battle, right? Or maybe not half the battle, but it's a piece to the puzzle. Did that game make you like McDaniel anymore as a potential candidate as our head coach?
Does he call the plays?
We don't know.
Okay, so how can you ask me that question? Like,
we don't know. We don't know, and I think that's part of the issue, right? Go ahead.
I'm going to stand by what I said last week and think that Ross is looking to win now, and he does so not with a first time head coach. He takes somebody that's
and why Brian Daboll? Because for me, Brian Daboll seems to be the favorite to land this job right now.
He's been a head coach. He's been here in Miami. Like
Daboll's not been a head coach.
He was a head coach in the Browns.
Oh shit, he was the head coach.
Swear jar, I got you.
What? I totally forgot about that. Hold on.
And he did a really bad job. I think it was 2 or 3 years, wasn't he? Anyway, going back to what I said, I think, Doug Peterson and Jim Caldwell are the first.
No, he wasn't. He was the offensive coordinator.
You sure? Was he an intern?
Yeah, he was never a head coach.
Well, then
Daboll's never been a head coach.
Then how do you if
I don't so out of all the names I've heard over the last 72 hours, Daboll's name keeps repeatedly getting come up.
And you know why? Because he coached two in Alabama, right? But he coached him for 1 year. He implemented the offense the RPO offense that Alabama went to. There's a lot of factors.
I don't know if he can put together a coaching staff. That's my problem with him. And I also think that the things you learn as a head coach, you make mistakes in your first tenure. And proof is in the pudding. And so where I point to is Belichick with the Browns and Don Shula with the Baltimore Colts. And when they got their second job, they were able to put it all together and win it and become better. And so that's why I think Dan Quinn would be a decent one. Leslie Frazier, I think, would be decent. Harbaugh goes to the top of my list. Who else? Jim Caldwell goes to the top of my list. I want a former head coach. The Dolphins aren't interviewing former head coaches.
Why they're not interviewing Doug Peterson is out of my mind. The guy's an RPO coach. He's a former Miami Dolphin. He was Shula's quarterback when Marino was injured.
Doug Peterson, 100%. I forgot about.
I
knew I was
won the
missing
Super
one.
Bowl. He beats Belichick consistently.
He worked with Josh Boyer. Josh Boyer could be whispering Chris Greer's ear, and we all know Chris Greer likes as whispering in his ear. What he says. Never mind. He was Philbin's OC. Yeah, he was Philbin's OC. That says a lot right there. Although I would like Philbin to be our offensive line coach, I think he's a good O-line coach.
So I apologize. Daboll was never the head coach of the Browns. My bad.
Mike McDaniel's at the top of my list. He's a genius. He was never a head coach. And Jorge, I agree with you. Caldwell is the right guy. The problem is I don't think we're going to do the right thing here. And a lot of the names on this list that have been announced that we're interviewing are coordinators, first-time coordinators. They're not former head coaches. There's one or two, I think, but Leslie Frazier's on that list. And part of the reason, again, I'm like, if we go with Frazier, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not. All right.
Let me answer this real quick. And here's a question for the chat box. If you were Brian Daboll, because he's interviewed in Chicago as well, defenses aside, Dolphins probably have a better defense than the Bears. The Bears have some good defensive parts. But if you were looking to an offense and the talents on the offense, who presents better opportunity to win now? Justin Fields and it's Singletary up there, right? Not Singletary. Who's their Montgomery, the running back? Or is it Tua and
whoever's going to be? Yeah.
You got Gesicki that's on the fence. You got Parker who, is unreliable at the very least.
Good questions.
In Chicago, you've got Fields, you've got Montgomery, and you've got Cole Kmet. You've got Allen. Is it not Allen Robinson, but Robinson, the wide receiver? Like, there's more offensive talent in Chicago on paper than there is here in Miami. Correct?
Yeah, 100%. And what I will also say is, Chicago's been to the Super Bowl in the last 15 years, right? They've been to a Super Bowl. And what that tells me is that their ownership is willing to do the right thing to allow the person to come in and do what they need to do. Our ownership is not. And so I think you would have more support with Chicago's ownership than you would with Miami's ownership.
So here's the issue with Chicago. I'm a Chicago guy, and the McCaskey family runs that family. Virginia McCaskey is, chairman of the board. Her son runs the organization. They are notoriously conservative, and where Ross isn't. So that's a check for Ross. That's a check for the Dolphins.
You really think Ross gets the check up over that after what he's done?
From a spending standpoint.
I think so. So then, as a coach, I would say, who's going to have the better GM? Because if McKenzie leaves us to go to, would I rather have Chris Greer as my GM or McKenzie as my GM?
McKenzie in Chicago.
There's so he's been asked to be interviewed there. By the way, if he gets the job, we get 2 3-round compensatory picks. Just so you know.
Oh, please take
it. But yeah, would you rather have McKenzie as your GM or Flores as your GM? No. Six in one end, half a dozen in the other. Doesn't matter.
Greer's done a better than decent job with his draft pick.
What I'm saying is if I'm Dayball and I'm offered both jobs, I have to do process of elimination here.
Dayball would probably make some, demands. From a talent standpoint for him to take the job here, you got to add a wide receiver. You got to add offensive line. You got
Calvin Ridley, baby. Calvin Ridley's going to be available from Atlanta all day. Could you imagine Ridley and Waddle on the field together? Come on, bro.
He's a Bama dude, right?
All day. With Tua? Come on. Put an O-line in front of him. Bruh. That I would take that all day long.
Isn't he under contract, though? He has to be traded.
So he has to be traded in Atlanta. So, and the rumor is out of Atlanta that they're gonna trade him. That they want to get draft capital for him, and they want, and by the way, I also think Matt Ryan is out the door too. I think Matt Ryan is out the door.
I was talking to an Atlanta fan yesterday. Matt Ryan had a sneaky good year with probably the worst offensive line and 0 run game behind him. Like, he had a really good year. I think he was, top 10 quarterback in terms of QBR, but listen, he's still got something in the tank. Now that's not to say they don't strip it down and start from scratch, which I think they should do.
Breaking news, Stephen Ross and Greer interviewing the bad boy of Publix for the head coaching job. Tell me how you really feel, Christolakis.
Christolakis, that would be so Dolphins.
Our new head coach is not going to be hamstring with Tua. I don't care what the Dolphins propagandists say.
That's hamstrung for you grammar prophetics out there.
Hamstrung.
Hamstrung.
All right, let's go to last night's game. Chiefs-Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger, pretty much.
You know how exciting that game was? I watched the final round of the Sony Open instead. Because that was exciting.
Well, let me tell you, the first quarter, it was like, whoa, Derek Watt, TJ Watt, 7-0 Steelers. I was like, are we about to see a major upset? That's going to be crazy if that happens.
Yeah, they shot their shot, right?
They did. And then all of a sudden, a light bulb went off in the second quarter, and it was let's go. It was go time for Kansas City. Close that light, Savannah. Look, see my kids in the background doing stuff.
Color commentary.
What did Cutler commentary say?
It's color commentary.
Spell checker didn't flag it, so there's that.
And Calvin Ridley's a Fort Lauderdale dude. I think he went to Heritage, right?
Who?
Calvin Ridley. I think he went to American Heritage Plantation.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Guys, I believe the O-line just need an experienced coach and some guidance with 2 veteran players, paying free agency, the best tackles available, bring in a running back, and get the wide receiver will be good.
Oh, my bad. He went to Monarch.
He still is a Southern Florida boy.
Oh, Coral Springs guy, yeah.
You should instead just hope Tua pans out because that's the direction they're going. I say whichever the new head coach is, we need to fire him so we can get another head coach. Steven, did you see that video where the Cowboys fan shot his TV with a gun? So again, Twitter is undefeated. And I was watching Cowboy fans just lose their mind yesterday. And I want to get into this Chiefs Steelers game, but man,
Did you see that? Did you see? I think it was like at the 6-minute mark where they panned to this chick and her mascara was running. She was already
just running down
because she knew what was coming. Dude, I loved it.
And then there was a girl that was there with her girlfriend, and you saw her face just like this. And then a couple minutes later, they cut back to her, and she's on her phone, and you could see that she saw that she became a meme. I think that's too funny when you find out that you become a meme at the game.
Awesome.
And then Cowboys fans, look, I know that there's some people saying that they were throwing trash at the refs. Bro, they were throwing trash at the players, bro.
Yes, they were. They were throwing trash. And you know what? That bothered me a lot because Dak and everyone up there blamed the referees, blamed the fans, blamed everybody but them stupid selves. And that really shows a lot to me, man. That was BS. Like, they needed to take that on the chin because it was on their shoulders. They're the ones out there playing on the field. And, the 14 penalties and that was BS.
That girl crying planned that so she could get internet fame. Who shows up to a game with no fan gear? I mean, hey. Pete, when the Miami Dolphins cut Josh Rosen, they said Flores knows a bad quarterback when he sees one. Soon as Brian Flores talks bad about Tua, we need to fire him, Shake Money says. All right, so the Chiefs show up. So Big Ben's done, right? He's gone. What happens with Tomlin? Because their ownership has been on record saying that we're going to reassess the entire organization.
Doesn't mean they're going to get rid of. How can you get rid of Tomlin? The guy's.
I agree. I agree. But crazier things have happened, and you know that.
You know who would be really good in Pittsburgh? Russell Wilson.
Interesting.
Just saying. Like, he'd be really good. This is throw spaghetti on the wall Monday.
Let me ask you, do you think let's play this scenario. Let's play this what if Monday. What if Mike Tomlin got fired today? What if? Would he automatically become the number one coaching candidate in the NFL?
More than likely.
Could you see him in Miami? Would you want him in Miami?
I mean, he's a winner, right? Like he's won consistently for a couple decades now. So why wouldn't I want him?
Yeah. I mean, I agree 100%. I think that, you look at the Miami Dolphins from the standpoint of where they could go, I don't think we're done seeing head coaches get fired. I think McCarthy's gone. I do think there's something to be said about Tomlin based on ownership's comments during the season. Stephen D, there was fights in the stands and someone got shot in the parking lot at the Cowboys game. Bro, like, Cowboys fans are – I've never been to that stadium. I do want to go. I want to go to Jerry's World one time. But, yeah, crazy look there. And I would say there was about 35% 49ers fans there. There was a good amount of 49ers fans at that game, too.
Sure, man. They travel well. Hey, in the chat box, I didn't say I wanted Russell here. I said Russell to Pittsburgh. Like, he'd be a good fit in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Tomlin is not getting fired. He shouldn't get fired.
No.
Tomlin is a floor is up guy, the real one. But again, I also said that if Ross was smart, he would be calling up organizations with head coaches and asking, are you interested? Would you be open to a trade for your head coach? I think Sean Payton, I would be calling up New Orleans to see if they're interested in Sean Payton trade. And I would be calling up Pittsburgh to see if they want, what's his face? Tomlin. And I don't know if there's really any other head coaches I think I would really want. Sean Payton and them, I would definitely be down for. But it's not like that's happened before.
I don't think he's getting fired. I don't think he's going anywhere. Like, he's a Pittsburgh lifer in my eyes, right? But to answer your question, he jumps to the top of the list if he is fired.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so tonight's game. Tonight's game is the Cardinals and the Rams. What are your thoughts about tonight's game?
I think it should be exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing.
I think it'll be the best game of the weekend.
It was hard to beat that San Fran Dallas game. And that Raiders game was really good. Both those teams played really well. But tonight's game, like, I see high.
Those games were exciting in the fourth quarter. They weren't exciting the first.
No, they were. The Cincinnati Raiders game was exciting throughout because you could just. Because you knew the anticipation was coming, like the anticipation for that.
Derek Carr, yeah.
Anyway, they just played a couple weeks ago, right? And
they did.
I don't know. I want to see Kyler Murray ball out against, Jalen Ramsey and that secondary. I think it comes down to how much pressure you can put on Stafford. This is Stafford's opportunity, really, to solidify his reputation as a top-tier quarterback. I think he's always, he's been labeled a gunslinger and, had multiple, top 5 performance years, but he's done it on crappy Detroit teams. I mean, the last time Detroit went to the playoff was Stafford and Jim Caldwell. So
right now the Rams are 3.5-point favorites to win, and the over-under is 49.5 points. I think the Rams have the most complete team. The issue with the Rams is what Rams team's going to show up. There have been times when they have not shown up this year in games, and that's been the problem for them. But I think ultimately on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, there's no team that's better in the playoffs right now than the Rams. You look at Stafford, you look at everything that they offer on that side of the ball. And then even the defense, right? And they got a squad. But I think any given Sunday or any given Monday in the scenario is here. And the Manning cast is tonight too. The Peyton and Eli are doing their cast tonight on ESPN, so I'll be checking that out. But I think that I would love to see Kyler Murray make this a game.
No Hopkins tonight.
No Hopkins. That's big.
Huge.
J.J. Watt might play. He's game time decision. They left a roster spot open for him. I want to see the Rams win because I like Arizona, but I think I would want to see the Rams win this game.
So the Cardinals won. They beat the Rams up earlier in the season when I believe the Rams were going under some COVID issues. The Cardinals were completely healthy. Murray he balled out of his mind, and it's kind of the Rams are going into the playoffs as one of the better teams outside of Watt. I think the Rams are outside of they have a defensive lineman that's out, but I think they're pretty healthy. I agree. I think I see the Rams winning. I want to see Stafford do well. I want to see Stafford take this team, at least to the NFC Championship. They're an interesting team because they have the ability to.
I like Sean McVay.
Go to this Super Bowl, right? But Sean McVay, there's lots on his shoulders too because he's lost some big games lately.
He has. All right, just quickly, let's look at the games for next week so far. Bengals Titans play next week in Tennessee. It's an interesting matchup. Burrow goes to Tennessee. I think offensively, Cincinnati's the better team there. What do you think about? I think Cincinnati can pull out the upset against Tennessee.
Say that again.
Cincinnati, Tennessee.
In Tennessee. It'll be a good game. It depends if Derrick Henry can play. I think he's a big component to that. I'll say this: Tennessee is playoff proven. They have the experience in the playoffs. They'll know that defense will know how to play Burrow. Whether they can match up with Chase and Boyd is another story.
Yeah.
To me, Mixon is the big X factor for the Bengals.
Yeah, I didn't even think about him.
If he can get off and run the ball and they can control the clock, then the Bengals have a chance.
49ers, Packers, and Green Bay. You think 49ers could pull out an upset? It is a night game. It's an evening game. I think the weather will play a factor in this game. If it does, advantage Green Bay. And I'll be honest with you, I don't see San Francisco beating Green Bay personally.
I mean, I want to see Green Bay lose every game. Just personally, I think San Francisco is playing really well. I think it'll be a lot closer than people think, and I'll give San Francisco the nod.
I think whoever wins this game tonight will beat Tampa. Whoever wins this game tonight will face Tampa in Tampa, and I think the winner will beat Tampa. I don't see Tampa making it to the NFC Championship game. Your thoughts about that?
I would take Tampa over Arizona, but I would take LA over Tampa.
I think if Arizona's good enough to beat LA, then they're going to be really good. They're going to be good enough to beat Tom Brady. The Buccaneers scare me nada at all. Yeah, at all. They don't. Bills Chiefs. That Sunday night game.
It's in KC, right?
It's in KC. I actually think it'll be the most interesting game of the postseason. And I think Buffalo can win it.
Which Josh Allen shows up?
That's the question, right? That's the question. And
KC's defense, besides the Honey Badger, who scares you back there?
Nobody really. But again, it goes to which Josh Allen's going to show up. But I'm telling you right now, I think the Bills are they're ready. The Bills are ready. I think when it's all said and done, I think it'll be Bills, Bengals, AFC Championship game. And it'll be Packers and the winner of tonight's game in the NFC Championship game.
I don't know about that. I'm going to ride my Niners, man.
Hey, look, man. We'll see. Is there anybody? Do the Dolphins get a head coach this week?
I want to see the head coach. I want to see a coaching staff put in place before Mobile.
I mean, I do too. But do you think that happens this week or next week or when? Do you like? Here's my thing. If it doesn't happen in the next day or two, the Dolphins head coach will be a coordinator with one of these teams. because there's no reason to be delaying this decision. Otherwise,
Yeah, I think, to your point earlier, they wanted to interview Frazier and Daboll, probably Daboll more so. If Caldwell and Peterson were at the top of the list, like we wanted them to be, they would have been hired already, I think, or they were waiting to interview these other guys first. But those guys aren't affiliated with teams, so I don't know. It's I just want to see them make the right decision. I want to see it done before Mobile.
We'll see about that, man. Hey, real quick, just a little touch on this real quick before I get you out of here and I open up the chat line because I know you got stuff to do today.
Yeah.
Dude, the Panthers are the best team in hockey right now, bro.
Hands down.
They dominate. What was it, 9-2?
9-2.
9-2?
And they got a couple players back. They're full strength. Like, they're scary. Like, I just don't want to see them peaking before the playoffs. Like, it's still a long season. It's still got half the season left to go.
I'm thinking about doing a virtual watch party for like a big game coming up. Let me know, and maybe we can do a virtual watch party on the channel in the next few weeks.
It'd be cool if I went to the game and did that.
Well, you'd have to be in a suite. I don't know if you could do a virtual party in a regular suite at the game. Ooh,
let's talk.
Hey, well, I will tell you this, man. That Twitter has been blowing up with the Panthers, and they say the atmosphere there is absolutely nuts right now.
It's bananas. If you saw what Kodak Black was doing the other day.
Kodak Black, so the Panthers is the
real,
hot. I know, but it is the hot ticket in town right now.
It is, and the Heat are playing really well. Like the Heat are a hot ticket too, but the Panthers are. I mean, it's so Miami, right? Like we're a bunch of bandwagon fans for the most part down here. Like, you couldn't get shot dead at a Panthers game 3 or 4 years ago
at all. They were giving tickets away.
Exactly. But there is a new ownership group, and they stopped discounting tickets. They stopped giving away tickets. They built the team in the right way, and they're making the Panthers a commodity, right? So, kudos to them. They've done the right thing.
I've actually thought about flying down just to come to a Panthers game because I want to go. But I think I'm going to wait for the playoffs if I do that because
Playoffs?
Because there's nothing better than playoff hockey, in my opinion.
No, it's outstanding. It's fun, especially, a Tampa Florida Panthers game.
Oh my God. Well, I want them to beat Tampa. I want no matter what happens, I want to go through Tampa to get to the Stanley Cup.
You have to. Tampa's.
I want to play them. I don't want them to lose. Getting there. I want us to put it in there. That's what I want to see.
Level 2 noob is now level 3 noob. I love how the chat box is running their own show over there.
I know they don't care about what nobody cares about what we're talking about. They do their own thing in the chat. They do their own thing in the chat. It's so great. I love it. And they have their own beefs and their own drama. The chat is its own show in itself.
Crystalakis, man, I got some WD-40, man. I'll go out in the garage and get it for this damn creaky ass chair.
Hey, the Lakers, man, they are horrible right now. They're straight garbage, bro.
I love it.
They can't win a game to save their life. The 8th in the East. They're 21-22. I mean, in the West. My favorite player, everybody knows it, LeBron, out on Twitter apologizing to the fans. I'm sorry. We're gonna be better. I don't get it, man. I don't get how they're not dominating. They have everything they need to win.
I need you to go. And I think it was Saturday night or Friday night. The Lakers played Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron was bringing the ball up and got completely shut down. Ball picked. He had to pass it. Fell on his ass. Just check out that highlight.
I will check it out for you, but we all know that
Michael Jordan is the one and only.
No.
Stop it.
LeBron, baby.
Stop it.
LeBron all day.
Where's
Solo when I need him? Because Solo hates when I bring this up on the channel.
Because he's with me. He knows.
I know, but I love it. I love LeBron James, son. Who cares? We talking about rings? We talking about rings?
What else is there to talk about?
We talking about rings?
What
My
else
man
is
is
there?
the fastest player to 36,000 points.
And how many rings has that got him?
4.
That's 2 less.
That's 2 less. You're right. And I don't know if he's ever going to get another one the way they're playing. They're playing like straight dog.
No, like straight up, you're starting to see LeBron. Like LeBron, up until this past few weeks, has had a really good year. Like what he's doing at age 37,
we'll never see it again. We'll never ever
don't
see
say
it again.
that. Don't say that. Like because athletes are better, bigger, better, faster, and they continue to evolve. We will see it again. It's just LeBron has done it so. He's done it so consistently for such a long time that that's what. There you go, Estefan. That's what makes LeBron.
Bringing up empty calorie stats like 2 in ears. The hate for LeBron is so real. Y'all hate.
It's not hate. It's reality.
It's hate, bro. I have never in my life seen somebody get more hate than LeBron James.
I'll tell you this also. Like, I will give you that maybe LeBron's the best of this generation because the game is completely different. All right. It was LeBron, then Kobe, and then prior to that, MJ. But you put him on the all-time scale, sorry, buddy.
If you want, look, the argument is he look, people have a problem with the GOAT conversation, right? Like you look at Brady. Look at what Brady is doing at 50 years old. It's crazy what he's doing at almost 50 years. He's almost there, bro. What is he, 47, 46?
I don't know, man.
Well, how old is Brady?
44.
44 years old. Okay. Could he play till he's 50?
He can. I mean, you never know because it's everybody ages differently, right? The guy takes impeccable care of his body and how he trains and how he puts himself in position, to perform at the level he is. So, can he do it for another 2 years? Undoubtedly. To play for another 6 in this league. I mean, that's 80% of careers, players' careers. So I don't know. I can't see him doing it till he's 50. But definitely another couple of years.
Is Brady do you give him the GOAT? Is he the GOAT? Is he the greatest player of all time in football?
Overall?
Yeah.
He's the greatest quarterback of all time.
So you can't have that conversation in football like you can in basketball. Like Jordan, LeBron, you can have that conversation. They're the greatest to ever play the game. It's tough to do that in football because there's different positions, right? And they do different things.
Right.
Do you agree?
Yes.
Like I love my cousin, Jerry Rice. Yes, he is my cousin, and I will always bring that up every time. By marriage, he is my third cousin. My kids have Jerry Rice's blood in them, okay? Let me ask you, there are some people that say that Jerry's the GOAT, like he's the greatest football player of all time. And then there are other people that will say, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, obviously on our channel, we're always going to get the Marino comparison. But I think in football, it's even tougher to say what greatness is because how can you put championships into the factor of the GOAT conversation in football with the exception of Brady? Like Brady defies all logic when it comes to winning and playing. He just wins and he plays at a high level year after year after year after year.
He might be the greatest. I mean, I don't think in the NFL that terms because it's such a team game, right? Does he stand head and shoulders above everybody else and make his team better? He has for such a long time. And it's obvious that he did so in New England and he's doing that in Tampa Bay. So is he in the GOAT conversation? For sure. It's hard to label somebody the GOAT in football, but if you were to start that conversation, he'd be one of a handful of players to be.
Yeah, I think Jim Brown's in that conversation. Jerry Rice.
I agree. Like Jim Brown. Like I'm 53, so like I'm more connected with the older,
the old people. Yes, you are because you're old, Cameron. You're so old.
I'm with the older generation is what I'm saying, and Jim Brown is the GOAT in my eyes.
I don't remember Jim Brown. I just know how he dominated the league when he played, and he was a hell of a lacrosse player too. He's in the Lacrosse Hall of Fame. Did you know that? True story.
Hey, so you got a new follower here, Chris Marita. Is Bill Belichick the GOAT of NFL coaches? I'll tell you who isn't, and that's McCarthy.
So here's the thing about Belichick. Love him or hate him. Love him or hate him. Belichick, what he's done is kind of, it's unreal. But there's two things that I don't think he's done well. He hasn't made good coaching disciples. There's no really successful coaching disciple of Belichick, right? And there's with outside of Brady, no quarterback has really progressed under him outside of New England. And
they didn't have outside of New England. I mean, Garoppolo
is one. Okay, there's one.
I mean, but Brady dominated that position in New England for so long.
That's true. I get it. I 100% get that. I'm not saying that, but you try to bring in Cam Newton, that doesn't work, right? I think Wack Jones, I don't think he's good in my opinion. I don't think he's going to have any career that amounts to anything. That's just my personal opinion about Mac Jones. But I mean, I'm also biased. So,
listen, that plays a lot into what we're talking about. There's bias. I mean, it's hard for us to say that Brady is the GOAT, but after he's all said and done, he probably will be the GOAT.
Yeah. And the cheating scandals, I think, I mean, it goes into part like for example, with baseball, right? Like baseball, I cannot stand Barry Bonds. Do not like him as a person.
As a person?
But Barry Bonds deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
100%.
Baseball, I will just talk to you briefly about baseball. Like that, this whole scenario, them being on lockout sucks. I saw the Marlins made a big international signing over the weekend, which was big for the Marlins. Their international scouting department has increased so much in the last 2 years. I'm excited to see what the Marlins do with the rest of free agency whenever the season gets back up. But with that being said, it's January 17th. We don't have a resolution to the end of the lockout. I don't see opening day happening on time.
So spring training, so pitchers and catchers normally report the first week, I think February 1st through the 10th. And then a couple weeks after that a week after that is when spring training officially starts, usually around the third week of February. Games start happening that last week of February, and then all through March up until opening day, which this year I think is March 28th or 26th, something like that. It has to happen for the health of and both sides know this, right? Like they can't afford, neither side can afford to allow a lockout to, delay opening day. And there will be a resolve done and made. I'm hoping within the next, month. I think, as I said last week, the owners came with a proposal that was universally panned by the Major League Baseball Players Association. They did respond. The players did, and said they'll rebut and offer their counter proposal. There she is, and that's going to happen next week, I believe. So, fingers crossed that this thing gets done. At least by the end of February.
Side note, real quick, because I meant to talk to you about this and I didn't get a chance to. Over the weekend, the Cowboys 49ers game was also on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
And so I have a 6-year-old and 7-year-old, and they loved it. They absolutely loved the Nickelodeon version. Ian Eagle's son, I forget, his name escapes me, but Ian Eagle's son and Nate Burleson and somebody from Nickelodeon did the coverage for the game. Nickelodeon did a great job of covering the game. My kids the entire game wanted to see the slime on the field. My daughter was watching the game intently. I think the NFL has something here with this Nickelodeon game and how to attract a very, very young fan base. And I'd like to see it evolve more, but I thought it was so awesome what they did with this Nickelodeon thing. Did you look at it at all?
I didn't, but it's that's what smart companies do, right? They feed the next generation of their client base, and that's exactly what the NFL is doing. That's what Big Tobacco has done. That's what car companies have done. McDonald's has done for generations with the Happy Meals and playgrounds and stuff. Like, it's marketing 101. It's really cool to see.
I loved it, man. I thought it was so good. And the only thing I didn't like about Nickelodeon was they kept on promoting somebody's going to get slimed at the end of the game, and they didn't do it on the broadcast. They did it on social media later, which my kids haven't seen yet. So they're like, did anybody get slimed? They said the kid. So they kept on teasing, and they never did it. So you guys are so, like, my kids were like legit upset. But yeah, the Nickelodeon thing was cool. Huh?
Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm glad your kids got to check it out.
They were intently watching the game too, and it's cool because as the flags go, they bring Sheldon from Young Sheldon on. Okay,
that's Game 7, 11-3 noob in Cleveland. My life is set as well.
Whatchamacallit? The game, it's what was I saying? I was saying about the Nickelodeon thing. The Nickelodeon, the way that they did it and they set it up. I think the way the NFL is going, I think broadcast is totally changing, right? You have the NFL, you have the Nickelodeon thing, you have the Manning cast now, right? I'm telling you, I think in 2 to 3 years, number one, DirecTV is going to lose the Sunday ticket package. And when they do, I think you're going to see a totally different direction on how NFL games are promoted and watched. I think you're going to see, like, I love NFL Red Zone with Andrew Siciliano. Love Siciliano. Shout out to Siciliano. Met him this year. Great guy at the Ravens game. Got a really cool picture with him where he took his phone and did a little photo. It was cool. I was in the deep end. One of the coolest pictures I have. And, but like watching the Manning cast tonight is going to be fun. But, if you have Amazon, of those Thursday night games this year, you could get multiple feeds. One of them had Joy Taylor, and it was what was it? The not the coach's corner. They called it I forget what they called it, but it had Joy Taylor. Shout out to Joy Taylor. Love Joy Taylor. And a couple of other people. And then they also had the Andrea Kramer version of it. And then you had the regular, Joe Buck, who, by the way, was pissed off yesterday.
It was Aikman was pissed off.
Oh, yeah. Aikman was so upset yesterday. So upset. And I know the NFL is going to say something about that. But, yeah, but do you agree? Like, do you think the NFL, like how we watch and take in sports is changing?
Absolutely. And it's, I think it's just reflective of society, of our need for information at lightning speed and for instant gratification and entertainment. And Amazon, that platform, I think, is going to play a big part in how we intake entertainment. And NFL is part of that. I mean, you look at the Disney app and what they've loaded into. What's it called? Disney Plus, right? Or something like that.
Disney Plus. Yep.
And that's kind of like a necessity nowadays, right? Mm-hmm. Like outside of TV, like modern or regular programming on your major networks, like, do you watch it? Like, do you watch outside your local newscast?
Everybody in the chat says they watch YouTube more than they watch ESPN or Fox News or Fox Sports or
absolutely,
or CBS Sports.
Yeah, and so to your point, it's a dwindling platform is the mainstream type of information and how we get it, right? Like an entertainment. So it's all going to be app-based. It's all be cloud-based. It's all going to be, driven by accessibility through our phones and laptops and iPads or what have you. And, it's just the evolution of entertainment.
Disney Plus is trying to get the NFL Sunday ticket. I think honestly, Kristalaka says CNN has 4 viewers left.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like whether it's CNN or MSNBC or Fox, Fox News Network, like more. I think they've done it to themselves just from feeding information wrong. And I'm not getting political on one side or the other here. It's just that they've become talking pieces that nobody really wants to listen to anymore. So we turn to other alternative methods of information, and that's YouTube, and that's, Twitter, and that's, putting more of the onus on the individual to search out the information that they want. It's a loaded question.
It is. And not only that, I'll even go as far to say that's part of the reason that I started the podcast network, right? Like I wanted an alternate way to watch my sports, right? I TD, Reason, Doug, I love all of them. And I wanted to eventually create a place where it was centralized, where you could come get your news, your sports news that you want, that's catered to a specific group of fans in one place. And that's what I think I'm building here at the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network.
This is a very true statement, right?
COVID sped up the process for all this 100%.
We all work from home. I mean, I don't leave my office, right? Like it's at home. It's outstanding. It gives me an opportunity to do things and intake alternative information sources like this, and be on this podcast. It's pretty cool.
I think when you look at it from the standpoint, I think the next couple of years are going to be very interesting. That's why I've always been a big fan of Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee to get $100 million deal from FanDuel is look, it gives somebody like me hope. I'm not Pat McAfee, but it gives somebody like me on the podcast network hope that to really kind of get into this and make this, a living,
Yeah. So to your point, Stephen, and Kristalakis made a great point. You jumped on this in the right turn. So it's our job at Miami Sports Music to continue the evolution of your platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Dunno Show and the Finn tailgate and things that we're going to do on Friday night is part of that evolution and keep creating your brand, strengthening your brand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's all about.
That's right. So just to recap, we're going to do final. I'm actually not going to do an open forum today. We'll do an open forum tomorrow. I know some people are going to be really mad at me, but no Dolphin chat today. We're going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to get killed for that, but I have my kids here today and I want to spend some time with them and hang out with them.
It's MLK Day, bro.
All right. So let me just give a recap. Big news today. Dono and Daniels live on Monday, starting next week, 9:30. That show's going to be about an hour and a half, 2 hours live. There'll be no open forum on the Dono and Daniels, but it'll be everything. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about pop culture. We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about pineapple on pizza. We're going to talk about everything on that show. And it'll be weekly. It'll be once a week. And I am super excited about that. We're going to be able to, all of you, TD, Reason, Stephen, Larry, Big O, and the all new coming will benefit. I appreciate that, Jorge. I really do. So yeah, be on the lookout for this. Dono and Daniel's going to be great. Also, take that off the screen there if you could. Want to remind you guys, Wednesday nights at 10 p.m., the Finn's Tailgate Show will happen starting this Wednesday. Don't forget, if you speak a little Espanol, Hell Fins live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. It's a Spanish-speaking podcast for the Miami Dolphins. And Fire and Ice Combat Sports will be back. I don't know if it'll be back this week, but it will be back. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming about. And the Friday show, the sports gambling show. And then I'm hoping tomorrow or the day after, we will also have another big announcement about another entity officially coming over here and taking over a couple of nights of the week.
Kristalakis is funny, bro.
Great show today. What did it say? Great show today. We keep on touching it at the same time. Great show today. We have Dono and Daniels, a sports betting segment. Level 2 noob became level 3 noob, and the Finns still don't have a head coach. Big day. We all knew that.
That's outstanding.
I like the Spanish speaking one. I pick up like every fourth word. I've learned more Spanish watching the guys from Armando and Paris and Chochos than I ever learned sitting in a classroom.
You know, there was a family. There was like 7 people from Mexico City that came to the Patriots game because of the podcast.
Really?
And they came to the tailgate because of the podcast.
We're growing, man.
Dude, that's good stuff.
That's amazing stuff, man. That's amazing stuff. Level 3 Noob says, you're going to choose your kids over us. Just who the hell do you think you are? Get us a new host. John Christolakis, you're hired. I'm sorry, Level 3 Noob. Yes, and I want to say this. It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. MLK Day. Love, MLK, what he did for our country, our world, I love a lot of stuff that he preached, and part of that is part of what I do, which is spread kindness, positivity, and love. And I know it's not Spread Kindness Friday, but I do want to say happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day to you. Thank you for co-hosting with me this morning. It's a non-Friday show, and you co-hosted with me. Didn't know that you were going to.
Me neither. I got a Zoom meeting in 30 minutes. I got to shave and shower, bro.
Hey, man, final thoughts of the day.
Final thoughts of the day. I think back to your original question in the show, do we pare down to 6 teams again? I say no. It just happened that this year, I think having more teams means more interaction with fans, more obviously revenue, but it's building the brand. And I don't see the NFL taking a step back from that ever. Regardless of the quality that's on the field, it will get better, man. And just like the first and 16 seed in the NCAA tournament, it gives the opportunity for, that 7 seed to beat the 2 seed. So it will happen, because there's a lot more parity in the NFL, just not this year.
Get rid of the 7 seed.
You're crazy. Hey, it was great to be on the show today. Congratulations on the growth. Big things happening in Miami sports music. That's my takeaway. Everyone in the chat box, I love the passion. There was I checked in the chat box like at 8:30, and there was 8:15, and there was guys just hamming it up then, cutting it up then. So I love it. I love the support, and you have a great day with your kids, Steve.
I appreciate it, man. I love you, Cameron. Be good, buddy.
Have a good day, everybody.
Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clack Blockers. I am your host, Stephen D. Super excited to be hanging out with y'all on this amazing podcast network. Be on the lookout for all the new programming, and we'll see you tomorrow bright and early right here on Clack Blockers, the Miami fans' #1 morning show. Let's go.